Hello everyone, welcome again to the second episode of Hello Brussels, Hello Youth. In this second episode, we will talk about different things with a young person who is actually living and working in Brussels. She's Elisa, she's with us, and today she will be the invited in the podcast. So, Elisa, how are you? You want to introduce a little bit yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. So I've been living in Brussels. It's been a bit more than a year now. And I'm quite new, but I'm trying to explore the city in all these aspects.
Yeah, you like the city in general?
Yes, it's really modern, it's really diverse, with a lot of elements that I like. It's a small city, so you can navigate around really easily, and I'm really happy about that.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so today the proposal is to talk about digital transformation perspective from Brussels. Like in general, I'm 100% sure you have had to deal with bureaucratic stuff, like maybe you had to go to your city council or some office. And well, in general, I'm 100% sure you already got some contact with all this world, let's say. So I wanted to ask you, how was your experience in Brussels? If the things were easy for you, if they were not easy for you, and even if you thought they were more difficult because you were young, let's say.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's a general thing that happened after COVID, that a lot of things were transformed into a more digital way, which of course me as a young person, I feel this is a good thing because we were born kinda with digitalization and with computers and with the internet, so we are more aware and we really wanted changes like this in our communities, and especially in Brussels. From what I experienced so far, if you go to the city council or if you have to do a bureaucratic, let's say, thing, it's all happening online or with electronic tools and applications, and this is quite easy. I mean, we want the digital world to enter in our lives to make our lives easy and not be that complicated as it used to be. So I think it's a really good thing, and I found it really handful that here in Brussels this is quite working. Of course, there are some bureaucratic things that you cannot avoid, but in general, if I have to compare with my country, things here are a bit more functioning due to the digitalization of the systems. I mean, from everything, from the city council to the buses, to the trains, you know everything in an instant just by checking an application.
Yeah, that's totally true. I don't know if you feel a lot of gap compared to your home country, let's say. A big gap.
I do not, I can see the differences, but it's not a bad gap. I mean, maybe I was not that, in Cyprus I was not that familiar with, let's say, the buses applications, but
yeah, because
so
you're from Cyprus,
yes,
isn't
I'm
it?
from Cyprus.
Okay, yeah.
It's so easy to learn these digital tools, and they are always updated, and they are always trying to make them really user friendly. So even if I never used them before, it's quite easy to catch up. But of course, this is from my perspective. I'm sure that a person from another age group, maybe more older than my generation, might find it challenging because now things are becoming digital, and this group were not into this digital world from the beginning, so they find it difficult to adapt. I mean, that's an issue that the society also needs to tackle. And I see this a lot in like older generations. They don't know even how to use Google Maps or these bank transfers that in order to avoid bank fees, you have to do it through your app. but then, like, let's say our moms, dads, they're finding difficult.
Yes, I totally agree, and I guess this is one of the biggest challenges maybe we have in this field, because of course, young people in some way we want all digital, because in some way we are native digitals and it's way easier. But by the other hand, I guess we also need to have this comprehension for people that maybe nowadays is like, I don't know, I would say 70 years old, 80 years old, and maybe they don't have this knowledge, because of course there is always also people from these ages that has even more knowledge than me. You never know.
Yeah, and it's even also like
yes.
not 70-year-old people, very younger people that they are having this trouble with digital tools.
Yeah. So do you think it should be a more comprehensive situation by our side, by their side, or we should have like both options working at the same time?
I think there was a transit moment that both things were working. Like that you, let's say, taking for example the bank, that you could go in person but also use your online banking. Now I see that everything is happening a bit more online, and that's making the life of these people a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
You need to have it a bit, I guess, more, how can I say, you need to have it a bit more balanced. I mean, okay, let's say you learn, you teach somebody how to do this, but then we should never exclude also the human touch in it.
Yeah.
I mean, having everything digital, that means we have no interfere with anybody else apart from our phones, which is also a negative part. I mean, sometimes people used to go to this kind of tramits, the banks and communes, to also meet people, network even, but this is not happening now.
Yeah.
It's a bit more, okay, I'm going to check my app.
Yeah, no, definitely. By the other hand, even I realized that even the bus is something that before, I don't know, for instance, I'm coming from Barcelona, and before in Barcelona it was only option to pay by cash. After it was cash and a card, and nowadays it's only like the official card. So all people is not able anymore to pay by cash. Even the fact they are one of the main targets of the bus in the city. So it's crazy how everything is changing. Like,
yeah, I mean, for my opinion, gives like negative and positive things at the same time. I mean, you cannot have the one without having the other. So, of course, they want to minimize the paper, the footprint you will leave in the environment by giving tickets or cutting receipts, and by your credit card, you just clicking, it's happening. But I mean, we have to consider it. Like, it would be nice to be a bit more hybrid. This digital aspect, let's say, of way of doing things. Yeah, I mean, and also digital transformation, now that I think, it also happened really fast in our lives after COVID, especially at the workplace. I can see that from one day to the other, everything went digital, and everyone, well, in the cases that you could work from home, especially when it's more administrative or like office work. And that's something that really, it was one of the, let's say, it was a good thing that we were able to work from our space or from anywhere else. The working environment became more adaptive. Now more and more companies are allowing their employees to go like only 2 days per week at the office, which this allows them, maybe if they're parents, to be home, to take care of the house, to not just wake up, go to the office, and then go back at night, but at least I don't know, I feel that when you're at home, you have a bit more time to maybe cook better food for you, or small things.
Yeah.
That this transformation, the digital transformation at workplace brought.
No, yeah, totally agree. And from this perspective, it's definitely like it has a lot of good things, as we said before, also a lot of bad things. But trying to go back to this Brussels perspective, I want to ask you two more things before finish this interview, this little podcast. First of all, one thing that was kind of different for me, it's me, that I have to recognize that I haven't completed all the process yet because of technical issues. But it seems a nice thing, no? Like to also talk about some good, I would say, tools that there are in the Belgian or the Brussels system. It's nice, no? Because you can manage a lot of things from this app.
Yeah, I mean, totally. This is something that I'm also a new user on that. One of the gaps that we were saying before, I never used it before. We didn't have this in my country, and it's so useful to have.
Yeah.
You just have one portal, and you can have access to a lot of things so easy, and I don't know, organize a lot of things. And yeah, it's one of the things that I really hope other countries can take as an example, because it's quite easy to navigate around.
And you can create like a bank account. You can sign documents. It's quite practical since once you're registered, technically you have like already proved some security steps that already proves that it's you, the person that is doing all these things online, which is totally nice. Yes. So the last question here about this topic, it will be if you think you're missing out something in this field from Brussels. I don't know, and especially like focusing in youth, maybe something that it could be happening related to some digital field. I don't know, maybe some app or maybe some website or something in general related to, also maybe related to this digital transformation itself.
Let's see. Maybe what I'm missing as, I mean, I can speak from the perspective of an expat. I'm missing a central source of information.
Okay.
And it would be nice, like maybe, of course, you can find information in the different communes, in the different websites around, but it would be nice to have a central app that an expat can enter and see, okay, I arrived to the country, what are the next steps, how to register, or what, how can I meet more people, use a centralized digital tool.
Yeah, it's
there are a lot, and maybe that's one of the problems, that when you have a lot, you get lost.
Yeah.
So maybe having a more official one.
I really like, for instance, I don't know, the commission has one for people, expat that just arrived, or if not the commission, sorry, not 100% sure about that, but it's something official from one of the institutions. They have a whole website, and it's so nice, but at the same time, I guess it's not that focused in youthness. Maybe it's a little bit more focused in young professionals arriving to the city, and especially maybe arriving to the institutions. And it was kind of the same information that I checked when I was or that I found when I was checking the website of the embassy, that okay, they were also giving you tips as a Spanish expat in Belgium or in Brussels, but again, like very focused as a young professional. And maybe in my case, what I'm missing is some youth information, maybe like places where I can find another youngsters, places where some people is developing some artistic projects or musical projects or theater projects related to youthness, or where to network with another youth people. I don't know. That's my impression.
Yes.
I don't know what do you think?
Yeah, that's totally. That's I also feel it, that it's a bit like young people arriving in Brazil are a bit lost, especially when you are not part of a university.
Yes.
I mean, when you're part of a university, I guess there are some societies that they can integrate you, but when you are not and you just arrive because you want to make a new start, that can get complicated. I'm sure there are things, but you really have to, like, from word to mouth, like somebody to tell you, and then you follow the lead, and then you do your own research. Of course, you cannot have served everything on your plate or in one app, but at least it would be nice to be such an effort. And yeah, it will also drag more people to to live in Brussels and start a career. So yeah, I think a tool like this is really useful. But yeah, I mean, in general, Brussels is really digitally transformed in a really good way, and of course there is room for improvement and doing new things, because the technology is always changing. I mean, it's a matter of days, I would say, to see artificial intelligence going around and explaining all the things we're discussing now. But yes, it's in a good way, Brussels.
Yes, definitely. Yes, as an expat, I'm also super happy with the city. So, Elisa, thank you so much for all your words, all your time here with us. We will finish now this podcast. I know everyone is so sad, but the time is finishing. But the good news is that you'll be joining us in the next podcast, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I will be around, so you can come here whenever you want. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some Finnish words?
Well, it was a pleasure being here. And I hope that whoever is listening to always remember that the technology is not always changing. So try to stay up to date.
Thank you so much. Thanks all of you also for listeners, and see you in the next podcast. Ciao, ciao.